All right, what is good, YouTube? In today's video, I got y'all the ultimate way to build the SOR, aka the SCAR is what everyone likes to refer to it as. This is an AR in Battlefield 6 that has incredible bullet velocity, very, very low recoil. It's just incredibly easy to use, and I think it's going to be a dominant force in the battlefield, no matter if you're playing regular multiplayer or when the Battle Royale comes out. I think this is going to be great for everything. With that being said, let's get in here and give you guys the detailed breakdown of the SCAR, aka the SOR. All I need for you guys to do is, if you enjoyed the video, to give it a like, make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on, and let's actually get into it. So of course we happen to have our SOR right here. This right is just such a wonderful assault rifle to be able to use. Super low recoil, great damage profile, everything like I was saying. So we'll get here and kind of customize this thing all out, but you can see the bullet velocity on this is actually pretty absurd for an assault rifle at 1,000 meters a second. Your damage is at 25 right there, which you get a little bit next to my face cam. I'll click into this. 25 right there. Rate of fire is nothing ridiculous, but overall it makes this gun hit very, very hard and be really, really good at longer distance. I'm also not sure about you guys, but I really do like the way the SOR looks. It's just such a nice gun. It's been used in so many different games, but overall here, let's kind of test it out, show you guys some of the recoil patterns. I mean, you can see that. I mean, this is with me controlling it, pulling down on the stick here just a little bit. I mean, it's really good. Even like full auto at distance, the bloom is not that bad. And they are going to be adjusting bloom here within that season 1 update, or as they like to refer to it as like dispersion. But overall, it's a really solid gun to use. Like, you're not going to have any downsides. Maybe that the rate of fire is, but very controllable, easy to use. I like it quite a bit. I am, of course, controller on PC, but I'm going to be using my mouse to go in here and show you guys what I'm using, just to kind of go over and hover over some stuff. So I run the standard suppressor on this thing just because I like to be off the minimap a little bit. It's also quite nice that people just audibly really don't hear you a whole lot. Like, to be honest with you, you can really take a bunch of people out before people figure out where you are. And it is quite nice when you're trying to get those flanks around, do all that sort of stuff. Like, it does make a big difference. And that is something I'm a huge fan of, is when I can use a suppressor and it's not going to hinder me and hinder my performance and accuracy, I like to do it. So the 20-point suppressor is all I got right now. By the way, this is a level 18 gun. It's not like I got this thing leveled up to like 30 and beyond. Like, I'm going to keep it a stack. That takes a long time. That's a lot of in-game hours using certain guns to get them way up there. So don't feel bad about not having your guns fully leveled up. You can use the suppressor, or you can even go for something like a break. I'd say a break probably a little bit more so than a converter. I do believe both of these are going to be great options, but I think the break is going to be a little bit better than the converter. I'd much prefer to have a little bit more control, as that makes it easier to get your shots just to kind of go where they're supposed to. That precision is technically like the bloom aspect of it, but I don't know if it makes that much of an inherent difference. So I just say go for the suppressor, or maybe go for a break. That's going to be awesome, and they're also relatively low level unlocks. Next up, in the barrel section, this is a very, very simple thing, and the one reason I also really like this gun is that you get good attachments very early on. So it's not like you have to grind this out to like 20 in order to be able to get something that you really like. So this, like the basic, is still acceptable. Like, you can use the basic barrel, right? But for only 5 points more, you go from 800 meters a second in bullet velocity to 1,000. It's like, and it also enables a faster transition to aim down sights, which is great. It makes you more effective overall. So I'd say the extended barrel is pretty much like a no-brainer. You should always be going for the extended. I am going to be using this exclusively, unless, you know, one of the other barrels down here are going to be just overall significantly better. But largely speaking, I don't think anything's going to be better, maybe besides the heavy extended, and that is a 28 or a level 28 level unlock. So there's not really as much of a point for me to try and hold out for that. I think the extended is going to be perfectly fine until I get way down there. Going down in here to the underbarrel section, something I really like running is the alloy vertical. The reason I like running this is because it slightly reduces my recoil, versus, I talk about this in some of my other builds, but when you go in here and let's say you click on the ribbed vertical, the ribbed vertical says moderately reduces recoil at the cost of aim down sights accuracy while moving. That's not really that great of a thing. We don't want to lose accuracy while moving. There already is bloom in the game. There's ways to lose accuracy. So it's like, and that's just kind of by random. That's not by like you not hitting your shots or not aiming properly. That's just like the random deviation in the game. So we don't need to further increase that. So there's no real reason to go throw on one of these other grips. So it may increase your overall precision of recoil, you know, that we don't need that, because we're moving a lot in this game. Like, you are on the move, and the alloy vertical will give you the best of general recoil control with no downsides. So those two things together make a difference. Recommend basically to stick with the alloy vertical for now until we find out maybe something gets changed in like the season 1 update, and maybe they mess with some things and make these other grips better. Down here in the magazine section, this is something that I personally am a big fan of, is that you, I believe, get the 40 round mag like very fast. It's like almost like level 5 or something. It's one of the earliest levels you get a good magazine for almost any gun in this entire game. So that's yet another reason I think people gravitate towards this, no matter if you're playing, you know, regular multiplayer or the Battle Royale when it comes out, as there will be loadouts in that from what I'm, you know, understanding. So I will say that the 40 round mag is indeed what you guys should be running. The 36 round is not going to be like a disadvantage really. You're not really also going to gain a whole lot. I don't even think it gives you, no, it doesn't even give you any better reload times running the 36 versus the 40. The only difference is that this is an extra 10 points. So if you want to run like a laser or something else like that, maybe 36 might be your best friend versus the 40, but I personally don't. So that's going to be that. I really like the 40. Just go with it. Of course, I run the standard ammunition. I don't really feel like there's much of a need to go for anything else. But you guys can definitely, I guess, throw on maybe some hollow points if you want to. It does increase your overall headshot damage, but it is 20 points. So it's like, I'm not really vibing with that. I don't really like that. I want to waste, you know, an extra 15 points on something like that. And lastly, I go up in here, which I will give you guys a different variation of this build too. I go in here and I run like maybe like the Baker 3 times, which is a really, really solid scope, by the way. I've been quite enjoying using the larger zoom optics. Something else I also really like is maybe this 1.7 times right here. That's really solid. And then even down here that I don't have it unlocked yet, this RO-M, this is a really, really good optic. You probably have it unlocked for a variety of other guns. But just for this one, it takes to level 19 to be able to get, and I'm like 1 level away from it. So I definitely will be using that, but overall the 3 times is really solid. Don't think you need much more than a 3 times for a fully automatic gun. And that is really going to be that. So you guys could also, like I said, maybe even run something a little bit smaller, like a mini flex. I would not really recommend the iron sights. Not something I think is beneficial. But otherwise, all these optics in here are pretty solid. Not also a fan as much of the 4 times. This does come with it. Not bad, but I'm just not as much of a fan. So that's really going to be that. If you guys want to run something here a little bit different, I can take off, let's say, the 40, go down to a 36 round mag. Go up in here to the top accessory. I can just throw on like a laser, and that will help me be a little bit better at close range. So a very minor modification, but it does help. You can always, of course, change this off in here too for something a little bit different, like, you know, the double port brake, and that will, like, you know, change, I guess, you know, the profile of this gun here a little bit. Like, this gun is just very low recoil, like laser beam. Like, you can really put some good rounds down range. I mean, that's tap firing a little bit, but I mean, that's lethal. Like, fellas, that is straight up lethal. Y'all definitely want to be trying this thing out. So that being said, give this build a try out any of the variations. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, check out this other one on screen, and I'll see y'all next time.